You're paying for air, literally. Dimensional weight pricing means carriers charge weight based on package size, not just actual weight. If your box is bigger than it needs to be, you're paying to ship empty space on every single order. I worked with a brand shipping a 2-pound product in a box that calculated to 6 pounds being weight, and they were paying triple what they should have been on every single order. Across 50K annual shipments, that was 47K in unnecessary freight cost from one box. In this video, I'm going to show you exactly how the weight works, how to audit your packaging, and the specific conversations to have with your suppliers to fix it. Now let's get into it. I'm Lara, 17 years in supply chain, enterprise to DTC. Last week, we mapped the hidden cost landscape, the 7 categories of costs beyond your purchase order. If you missed that video, link is in the description and I will put a card right here. Start there if you have not mapped your full picture yet. This week, we are going deep on one of the biggest costs on that map, dimensional weight surcharges. DIM weight is usually in the top 3 hidden costs for every brand I audit. Most are overpaying 30 to 50% on their top SKUs. By the end of this video, you will know exactly how much DIM weight is costing you and what to do about it. Now, let me start with the formula because once you understand this, you will never look at a shipping box the same way. DIM weight equals length times width times height divided by the DIM factor. For UPS and FedEx, both domestic and international, the DIM factor is 139. For USPS is 166. The key? Carriers charge whichever is higher, actual weight or DIM weight. Now let me show you why this matters with a real example. Your product weighs 2 pounds. Your box is 12 by 10 by 8 inches. So DIM weight is 12 times 10 times 8 divided by 139. That is 960 divided by 139. That's equal to 6.9 pounds. You're paying for 7 pounds of shipping on a 2-pound product. If shipping costs 50 cents per pound, you're paying $3.5 instead of $1. That is $2.50 extra per order. Times 50,000 annual orders, 125K in unnecessary freight, just from oversized boxes. And this is why every cubic inch matters. A 20% reduction in box size can mean 20% or more reduction in shipping costs. And by the way, I built a DIM weight calculator that does this math for every SKU automatically. Plug in your product dimensions, your box dimensions, and it calculates the gap and shows you the annual cost. It is in this week's Unbox Weekly, my free newsletter, link in the description. When I audit DIM weight for brands, I always find the same for patterns. Let me walk you through them so you can recognize which ones apply to you. Pattern number 1, standard box sizes that do not match the product. You bought 12 by 10 by 8 boxes because this is what's available from your packaging supplier. But your product only needs 10 by 8 by 6. You're paying for those extra inches on every single shipment because nobody ever checked whether a smaller standard sizes existed. Pattern number 2, over-engineered protection. Yes, you need dunnage to protect the product during shipping. No, you do not need 4 inches of void fill on every side. The packaging was designed for worst-case scenarios that rarely happen. Your supplier designed for zero damage claims. That is their priority. But they're not paying your DIM charges. You are. Pattern number 3, supplier cartons dictating your packaging. Your supplier ships 6 units in a 24 by 18 by 12 master carton. When you break those down for individual customer shipments, you default to similar sizing because you never questioned whether a matched smaller box would work perfectly fine. Pattern number 4, the unboxing experience gone too far. Beautiful packaging is great for brand perception. I'm not against it. But paying $2.50 extra per shipment for empty space that customers immediately throw away, that is not a brand investment. That is a margin leak. Has anyone actually tested whether that extra space drives retention or repeat purchases? Usually the answer is no. If you run last week's 5-step hidden cost audit, dim weight probably showed up in your top 3. And if you have not run that audit yet, go watch the last week's episode first, linked in the description. It maps all 7 hidden cost categories. Dim weight is usually number 1 for number 3 on the list. Now, let me give you the audit process. 5 steps. You can do this in one afternoon with a tape measure and a spreadsheet. Step number 1, measure your products. Get the actual dimensions of your top 10 SKUs, length, width, height in the position they ship. Not the product alone, the products as it sits ready to go. This is your baseline, the minimum space the product actually needs. Step number 2, measure your current packaging. What boxes are you actually using for each SKU? Document the dimensions, including all void fill, dunnage, inserts, tissue paper, everything that takes up space inside the box. This is your current state. Now, step number 3, calculate dim weight. Length times width times height divided by 139. Do this for every SKU, then compare to actual product weight. The difference is what you are overpaying for. Step number 4, find the gap. For each SKU, line it up, actual product weight, dim weight, what you're being charged, and the gap between actual and dim is your opportunity. The bigger the gap, the more money you are leaving on the table. Step number 5, calculate the annual cost. Gap per shipment times annual units shipped for that SKU equals your annual dim surcharge. This is a number that justifies making packaging changes. This is the number you take to your boss, your partner, or your packaging supplier. I have never done this audit with a brand that found nothing. The average is overpaying 25 to 40% on their top SKUs. Now, calculating this for every SKU manually takes hours. The dim weight calculator in this week's Unbox Weekly does it in seconds. You plug in your product dimensions and your current box size and it shows you the gap, the per shipment cost, and the annual savings from right sizing. Free, linked in description. Now let me show you what it looks like when a brand actually fixes it. Hero product weight 1.8 pounds. Their box is 14 by 12 by 10 inches. Dim weight 40 times 12 times 10 divided by 139. That is 12.1 pounds. They were paying for 12 pounds of shipping on a 2-pound product. The fix, redesigned packaging to 10 by 8 by 6 inches. Same product, same protection, same brand experience, just smaller box. Now, new dim weight is 10 times 8 times 6 divided by 139 is 3.5 pounds. Went from paying for 12 pounds to paying for 3.5 pounds on every single shipment. Now, the cost to redesign packaging is $3,200. That included new box design, updated inserts, and drop testing to make sure the product was still protected. Annual savings is 47K. ROI, 15x in year 1, 3,200 investment, 47K back every year. The box was oversized because it was originally designed for the unboxing experience. Marketing wanted the presentation, the visual wow when customers open it, and I get that. But when they saw the math, when they saw that wow was costing 47K a year, they made a change. They kept the brand elements, kept the tissue paper, kept the logo, they just made the box smaller. Same experience, 47K cheaper. That brand used the same carton optimization approach I teach in day 2 of the Unbox Weekly Welcome series. When you subscribe, you get the full table. On day 2, how to right size every box, how to run the drop test, and how to present the business case to your team. That playbook has saved brands 15% on logistics cost. It's free. Now, most packaging suppliers default to oversize because it is safer for them. Overprotection means fewer damage claims, fewer complaints, less risk on their end. But they're not paying for your DIM charges. You are. And here are the 4 questions to ask your packaging supplier this week. Question number 1, what are the minimum dimensions that still protect the product? your supplier designed for worst case. Ask what is actually necessary. Now, what is safest? What is necessary? You might be surprised how much smaller you can go. Question number 2, can we test a smaller carton size? Most suppliers will create samples at no cost or minimal cost. The test is cheap. Order 50 units of a smaller box, run a drop test, ship 20 orders, see if damage rates change. Usually, they do not. Question number 3, what would a custom box size cost versus standard? Sometimes custom is actually cheaper than the DIM penalty you're paying on standard sizes. If a custom box costs 15 cents more per unit but saves you $2 in DIM charges, that is very easy math problem. Question number 4, what is the lead time for packaging changes? Plan ahead. Packaging changes typically take 4 to 8 weeks for redesign, production, and testing. Start the conversation now if you want savings by next quarter. The key in all of this, show them your DIN math. Make the business case with numbers. Most packaging changes pay back in 6 to 12 months. Some, like our case study, pay back in under a month. Here's your homework this weekend. Run the DIN audit on your top 5 SKUs, measure products, measure boxes, calculate team weight, find the gap, calculate annual cost. Then, have the conversation with your packaging supplier, show them the math, ask for questions. The worst they can say is no. The best case is thousands, maybe tens of thousands in annual savings. And if you want to make the audit 10 times faster, I built the dim weight calculator and put it in this week's Unboxed Weekly episode. Plug in your numbers, it does the math, shows you the savings. But the calculator is just this week. Every single week, you get one deep dive supply chain playbook with the exact tools to fix whatever we covered. And when you subscribe, day 2 of the 7-day welcome series is a carton optimization guide. It is the full playbook behind the 47K savings I just showed you. How to right size every box in your product line, how to run drop tests, how to present the case to marketing when they push back on the unboxing experience. Day 1 is 10 negotiation scripts. Use them for the supplier conversations. I just walk you through word for word what to say, how to push, when to walk away. 7 days, 7 playbooks, all for free. This video teaches you the problem and Box Weekly gives you the tools to fix it every single week for free. Every cubic inch of air in your boxes is costing you money right now on every shipment. Unbox Weekly help you stop paying for it. Link in description, take 10 seconds. Next week, the fulfillment cost audit checklist. Every fee or 3PL charges, what is normal, what is excessive, and which ones you should be negotiating. Week 4, an 18K per year packaging redesign case study. Subscribe so you do not miss it. Drop your DIM audit results in the comments and I read every single one. See you next week.